right, 27 minutes before 11 o'clock. I guess we got started a tiny bit earlier than usual. Joe Reichel is in the studio ready to answer your questions about the things that might be damaged in your home and how he fixes them. He, of course, from Damage Control Services. And if you'd like to ask a question or just join in on the conversation, the number is the WOCA Climate Control Source Hotline, 622-9622. And today, I understand we're going to talk about toilet floods or bathroom floods.
We've had a lot of water activity this week. Now you can hear me.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
A lot of water activity this week. We've got a phone call for a bedroom that had water all leaking out into the floor, and the carpet was all wet, and that was from a plumbing supply line. It had a little pinhole leak, and it was just steady
in the wall.
In the wall.
Oh, no good.
And it was leaking down into down the wall into the floor and causing some damage there. So tore out all the carpet and dried it out and got that going. And then last night I got a phone call about 11 o'clock, and that was from a lady who had water all on her bathroom floor, and had some people come over and trying to find it and find where the leak was from and what was causing it. And then she discovered when she flushed the commode, water's coming out on the floor. So multiple problems there, one of them being likely that the wax ring has been broken, so you need to...
That is a nasty thing, isn't it, that wax ring?
That is nasty. Every time you...
It's very cheap, though. It's like $1, right?
Yeah, wax rings aren't very expensive, but if for some reason that you ever take off you have to remove your commode for some reason, if you're putting new flooring in, or for some reason you need to work on the commode or get behind it, whatever, you want to always make sure that you replace the wax ring, because that's the seal between the toilet and the drain, and to keep it from leaking out on the floor. So she's got water coming out on the floor and causing all kinds of problems there. So one thing that's the problem there is the fact that it's her septic is probably full. And that's what's causing the problem there. So she's going to get the septic drained this morning and
so that sounds like plumbing work. Is that you do plumbing work too?
We don't do plumbing work. We have plumbers that we work with. Plumbers are a great referral source for us, actually. They get a lot of the first calls if someone has damage in their home or some sort of a plumbing leak. They get the first call typically. So a plumber then in turn, like I said, is a great referral source for us because they call us to clean up, to dry everything up or whatever needs done as far as rebuilding, because oftentimes if it's a leak in the wall or in the slab, they've got to tear up those areas in order to get to it to fix it.
Ah, okay. So this is the scenario. I have a leak. I'm calling you the plumber.
You're calling Joe the plumber.
Well, whoever the other guy is. So I call the plumber. The plumber comes over and says, "All right, I fixed your problem, but that wasn't even 1/10 of it. The big problem is what the water did."
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the first part is getting the cause fixed or stopped. The second part is getting it dried back up and getting it repaired.
Because if you
rebuilt,
a wooden floor under a tiled floor is hidden. If it's wet, you don't maybe know it. Maybe you don't even realize the extent of it. If
you have a wooden subfloor, you need to get that dried out, especially if you have tile that's over top of that. Typically, tile will not, tile's a pretty good floor. It's got to be wet for a while before the water to get into that. However, if you have cracks in your tile or the grout joints are cracked, and those will cause the water to get down in to those areas and then cause, typically once that plywood or the wood subfloor gets wet, it will cause the tile to heave and come loose from that area. So then you'll have to replace not just the tile, but also the subfloor, or the wood flooring that's damaged as well.
So you said you have a plumber who's calling in?
We're going to have a plumber calling in, Alan Curry of Alan Curry Plumbing.
And do you know what number he's calling in by chance, so I know where to look?
He's calling in to the Climate Control Source hotline.
Okay, so I'll be able to see it,
Yeah.
Because if it was behind me, I needed to be
Nope.
kind of looking both ways.
He's calling into that one, and we're going to be talking with him. This time of the year, and we can probably start segueing into that. This time of the year, a lot of people, you'll have family and friends coming over, or you'll be going over to their house, and a lot of cooking going on.
Right.
And typically, whenever everybody is together, you're going to maybe be making some mashed potatoes. And when you're making mashed potatoes, you're peeling the potatoes, and oftentimes those peels, the skins of the potatoes, get put down the garbage disposal. And that's not the best place for them, because a potato skin will clog the dishwasher, clog the drain, the garbage disposal drain, and stop it up.
Really? So that blade in the garbage disposal doesn't hold up to a potato skin?
Well, it holds up to it, but that just, it kind of...
It doesn't really chop it up as well as what you're saying?
It's not... you're creating mashed potatoes in your drain.
I guess so, yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, you know how thick mashed potatoes get, so, that just kind of clogs it, and then you have to get that cleaned out. So, best if you're going to peel them in the sink, it's best to clean them out then and put them in the garbage themselves.
That's why the chef decided to specialize in potatoes. He found it very appealing. I know, dumb joke.
I was waiting for the cricket sound effect.
You got it. All right. Looks like we have a phone call. I don't know if this is the friend you've been waiting for. Good morning. You're on the air with Joe Reichel.
Joe, Alan Curry.
Alan Curry of Alan Curry Plumbing. Thanks for calling in. We were just talking about potato skins in the garbage disposal.
Good for me, bad for the consumer.
So what do you how do you recommend what do you recommend, Alan?
I recommend they get one of those nice brown garbage bags from the grocery store and peel the peels into that bag and throw it out with the garbage. And only the little remnants left on their plate go into the sink in the dishwasher or down the garbage disposer. The problem with potato peels is they swell. So when they get wet, they swell up and stop up the pipe.
So if this happens, you're talking about a clogged drain and not being able to use it, right?
Right. It'll definitely stop it up. If they're lucky, it'll stop it up in the P-trap, which is an easy fix. If they're not lucky, it'll end up stopping it up down line where they're going to have to pay somebody to come out and get the line unclogged.
So in doing that, do you snake the line out, or how do you clean that out, Alan?
Yes, sir. If we've got to clear the clog down line, then we use a cable machine which rotates the cable, and we run that through the line to clear the obstruction.
Okay. So this is something that just a matter of making a service call and having you come out and having a plumber take care of just cleaning that out if it happens.
If it happens, yes. It's not a very complex thing. It's just you can't use the sink until you get somebody out there to unstop it. So it is an inconvenience.
So pretty much, if it happens, and typically, you have two sinks in your kitchen, and one side would have the garbage disposal, and all of a sudden that's clogged up. You're not able to use either side of the sink, right?
No, because they're typically joined together with one P-trap, and it's either going to be in the P-trap or past the P-trap. So they're going to be without a kitchen sink until they can get somebody out there.
So prevention is always the best thing, and preventing or doing the best that you can in order to keep this from happening would be the best way not to ruin a family day, a day with the family and enjoying a good meal together.
That's correct. And there again, I say they should use a brown paper bag and fill the peels into that bag and throw it out with the garbage.
Yeah. What is the one of the most common things you as a plumber have the calls that you get, Alan? What would be? I mean, for us, it's typically the type of calls that we get are a leaking, like a refrigerator water supply line. That's one of our most common. What are one of the most common calls that you get?
One of our things that we run into quite often is the clogged sink, the clogged shower drain in the lavatory. And typically, in the kitchen, it's going to be a food product that causes a problem. And then in the bathroom, it's going to be a hair problem. So we probably do 10 to 20 of those type calls a week. And,
oh, wow.
Outside of that, our biggest thing is leaking water heaters.
Yeah, those seem to be a regular problem. Let me ask you this, Alan. Speaking of water heaters, the inline water heaters, those typically you won't have a leak with those, right?
It's less common because you don't have it heating water whenever it's not in use, so you don't have the swelling and contracting of the tank. So it's less common to have them leak, and if they do leak, it's typically a small leak. And the new ones these days have a device on them that'll sense the leak and actually shut the unit off. So they're getting quite sophisticated.
Now, is that the tank water heaters, or are you talking about the inline water heaters?
That'd be your tankless, your inline.
Okay.
It has a sensor in it. The regular tank heaters, whenever they go to leaking, you just have to realize they're leaking and get them fixed.
Now you do the inline tankless water heaters, right?
Yes, we're a dealer for Tico People's Gas, and we do the natural gas water heaters for them, as well as LP water heaters, which is not something that falls into their program. But we do those heaters for Tico and for the consumer straight out as well.
What would be, let me ask you this question, what would be the benefit, if I'm thinking about it, if I'm needing a new water heater, what would be the selling point to get a tankless other than a possible less likely possible leak?
Well, with a tankless, you basically have endless hot water. So for people that have a jacuzzi tub or a lot of children, they won't run out of hot water. You don't have to worry about staging showers or baths. For others, it's an area issue. They want that extra space in their garage. So with the tankless, we can give that space back to them. And then they are less costly to run in the long run, and they do last about twice as long.
Really? Now,
and the average life is about 20 years on a tankless, where a tank heater is 10 to 12.
I didn't know that. That's so you pretty much have about twice the lifetime.
Yeah. And for me, I have one at my house, and mine was for convenience because my wife would fill her tub and I couldn't get a shower. And now the water runs hot.
The wife problem, huh? So
that's right. We always blame it on our wives.
And I'm sure she always blames it on you, right?
Absolutely.
So what is the cost difference? Is there I know there's got to be a difference in cost, right?
It is. There's a pretty good difference.
Hi, Dave.
In cost. We can do a tank style heater to Tico for the customer having about $600 out of pocket, and the tankless would run about $1,500 out of pocket. But you're offsetting it with the lifespan of the heater pretty much, and then convenience is on top of that. And hopefully your cost savings will be enough to make it worthwhile.
So personal preference, as well as need, as well as probably the room that the amount of room that you have. These all excuse me come into play when making a decision for a water heater.
Oh, absolutely. A household with two people probably don't need a tankless. But there again, today I got a fellow, we're redoing a room for him, and he needs the space. And so he's going to go with the tankless just to get some space for his other equipment he's got to put in the area.
So a lot of let me ask you this, as far as I mean, your line of work, you do a lot more service you're more of a service plumber than like new construction, right?
That's correct. We're probably 90% service and 10% construction.
Okay. So this might not be a question you can answer. Most of the new homes that are being built, are they going with tankless?
It's up. The contractors. I have two contractors that I'm dealing with now that we do new construction, and we're doing tanklesses on all their houses that have that natural gas available. And then I've got another contractor. He's old school, and he just wants to stay with a tank heater. But in my mind, every new house that's got natural gas available should have a tankless rather than a tank heater, just because of the efficiency factor.
So let me get back to the other subject that we were talking about. Let's just pretend that someone tomorrow, Christmas Day, did have a stop drain. Would they be able to call Allen Curry Plumbing in order to get that taken care of?
They could call us tomorrow. They won't see us till Thursday.
So in other words, again, prevention is the best way not to ruin your weekend or your day.
It is. There's some companies that will have plumbers on call tomorrow, but you're going to pay 1.5 to 2 times the normal service rate probably. And I think there's a couple of them out there that don't charge an extra fee, but there again, you're taking people away from their families on a holiday, and so we sort of respect that day for our families.
Understandable. Excellent. Thank you very much, Alan, for calling in and all the information. And once again, if someone was to need your services or be interested in a tankless water heater, what would be the best number for them to call, Alan?
That number is 427-7036, and they can find us on the internet at Allen Curry Plumbing.
Is that AllenCurryPlumbing.com?
If you just type in Allen Curry or Allen Curry Plumbing, it pretty much comes up, but it is www.AllenCurryPlumbing.com.
AllenCurryPlumbing.com or 427-7036.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Thank you, Alan, for the call.
All right, Joe, you have a great day.
You too, man.
And Joe, looks like you do have another call coming from a listener. Good morning. You're on the air with Joe.
Yes, I wanted Alan to comment on the calcium buildup in the tankless water heater. That used to be a problem. Have they alleviated that problem yet? Listen.
Well, we would have to get Alan to call back in, which he just hung up. That is a problem, and a lot of that depends. I'm just going to go with what I know on that. A lot of that depends on the type of water that you have. But there again, man, I got a tickle in my throat today.
Oh, no.
Really depends on what kind of water you have as far as the buildup that you get. But it also depends, like he said, the lifespan of a water heater is a limited amount of time. So it will build up inside of that, and you will have a problem there. So the number that he left, if you really wanted to find out further, 427-7036. That's his the phone number there, and he'd be able to answer that question probably better than I can.
Okay. I think he's gone. The one thing I just wanted to mention is that because of the fact that your guest was on the same call-in line as our listeners, that's why we weren't able to take calls on that.
Right.
But you are able to call right now. If you have a question for Joe, the number is 622-WOCA, the WOCA Climate Control Source Hotline. Yeah, that buildup, the calcium buildup he was just talking about, I had that years ago. And it was just, you know what? It was just a matter of getting another heater. I just didn't even want to be bothered with it. It looked a mess. You could see it through the little hole. I mean, you couldn't obviously open up the heater.
Right.
But
yeah, it'll fill up and then, it gets quite a bit. And that's why I said, as far as the lifespan and, the amount of time that you can expect a tank water heater to last, he said, 10, 12 years. So.
And you can see it on that element, the element that actually cools heats the water. All right, good morning. You're on the air with Joe.
Good morning.
I guess not.
Good morning. You're not on the air with Joe.
Whoever was there decided to not be there. I can remember, and that's kind of an easy fix too, even for somebody like me that doesn't know much about what we're talking about. Replacing rather, that element that heats the water is about as easy a job as you can find.
Really?
Yeah. Well, the one I had, all it was a matter of unscrewing it and then screwing the new one back in.
I've never really examined that, so I couldn't
really?
wouldn't even know where to start.
Now, a gas one, I wouldn't have a clue, but the electric one was pretty easy. Good morning. You're on the air with Joe.
Good morning. I actually hung up.
Oh, okay.
I admitted it. Hey, on the lifespan of a water heater, are you saying it's 10 to 12 years for the whole unit?
That's what he was saying as far as a tanked unit. They do last longer than that. I think that's probably just an average as far as, but there again, like I said, depends on the type of water you have, and two, the amount of use that water heater's going through. If you just got two people using it, it's probably not it's gonna last a lot longer than, when you have a whole family using it.
Right, yeah.
Well, one of my, this is Linda.
I thought it was you, Linda.
Yeah.
Good morning, Linda.
Insurance companies now is 15 years on the water heater. They were doing that on the roof, and now they're starting on the water heater. And I'm thinking, oh gosh, that doesn't seem right, But boy, maybe they have something there.
Well, water heaters are one of
10 to 12 years, and the company might be being a little generous if they get them.
Water heaters are one of the. I'm sure you know this too. They're one of the most common problems.
And it's funny because a couple of years back, we had our water heater went out. We had two of them in the house, and one we replaced when we put a new AC unit in because it was in a small area, and we knew that as long as they were tearing out the AC area, the handler or whatever, do the water heater at the same time, so we wouldn't have any problems. And then when our water heater went out, the plumber came in, and it's a gas heater, and the house was built in 91. And this was like 2 years ago. He said, no, you're wasting your money. He said, this water heater is perfect. He put a coupler in and it cost me $75-$80, and away he went, and I was ready to spend whatever it was, $700. But he said because it was gas, they seem to last a lot longer. And it's an A.L. Smith, and it's 24 years old now,
Oh, awesome.
For 20 years. But, we do have a drain in that room, too. It's in the laundry room, and there's a pan under it, and my husband's home all day, so he can watch it.
You've got him on water heater watch.
New one. Yeah, the water heater watch. Well, we were all ready to put a new one in, and I was surprised that he thought that, the plumber, he's in the business to make money. He said, no, I'd be taking your money by doing it, but again, now this insurance company, they would have a problem with that,
Right.
But now we're over 15 years.
Let me ask you, Linda, as an insurance agent, how many of the claims do you see that are water heater related?
I've had some serious ones, but not a lot. But they've been bad. I would say, I think probably since I've been here, 16 years at this agency, I've probably had about 5 really bad ones. But people come home and there's water meeting them at the door.
Right.
Because they left for work at 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. and they came home at 5, and the water's been, running since, 10 o'clock, and it's a pretty good flow of water, and it's ruined the hardwood floors and the carpeting, and it's going up the drywall, so it's thousands and thousands of dollars of damage.
Yeah.
But it's not something I get a call for every week.
Oh, no,
maybe every couple of years, but it is, when it happens, it's serious.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you guys have Merry Christmas.
What agency, Linda, are you at? You want to tell the listeners?
USI Insurance. It was formerly Lossing Strickland.
So how would let me ask you this: if someone was concerned, this is something that I try to tell the listeners all the time. If someone was concerned and they're wanting to know exactly how exactly about their insurance policy, and they were a client of yours or was interested in being a client of yours, how would they get a hold of you?
They they could just call. They could just call. I hate to do cheap, shameless plugs.
I'm wanting you to. I'm offering you the opportunity here.
But they can call the agency. They can just look up USI Insurance, and they can call, and I'd be happy to go review their policy, and just see if they're sitting with the right coverage. There's some policies that really have no water damage coverage.
Exactly.
If their water heater bursted, and they find out they had H08 or DP3, DP1, they have no water damage unless it's like a storm and the roof blew off. So it is good to look at your policy and see what kind of policy was written.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because a lot of times, that's one of the things that I try to tell the listeners is, make sure you're going over your policy. Make sure you get with your agent, examine, make sure that you are covered the way you need to be covered, just in case. Yeah.
And sometimes on the old homes, that's all that was available to that agent, and that's why it was written. But I had somebody call, and she called me and she said, Linda, I'm with another agent. Now they're telling me I don't have any water damage coverage. And we talked about her policy, and she had a DP1, a dwelling fire 1 policy, which does not cover water damage. So she was.
Uh-oh. I think she got cut off.
We lost Linda.
Yeah, Linda, you just dropped off just suddenly like that. So
I'm glad she called, though.
Yeah. Can I squeeze in one quick one? You know how some people will turn off their electric water heater like all day except for like 1 hour before they take a shower, saying that it saves electricity? I wonder if that hurts somehow the element that heats it up.
Well, it wouldn't necessarily hurt the element, because the element's coming on and, heating up water, heating up, whenever you don't need it heated.
Yeah.
So it's would basically be less use on the element.
So it would last longer then?
The element would last longer.
So,
however, you still have the water that's sitting in the tank.
Right.
So if something was to happen to the tank or everything in there, then you still have that same problem. So.
Wait, we have a phone call coming in. Let's see if we can squeeze in before we absolutely wrap it up. Good morning. You're on there with Joe.
Good morning. Talking about water heaters, and I'm so glad that you're not calling them hot water heaters, because I never understood that. But, mine, I rent, and my water heater is outside, and I know you're supposed to drain it every so often, but when I try to drain it, it's so full of this little white silica that I actually have to take like a screw, a pipe, some kind of something to loosen it up. And it's just so much effort that I just stopped doing it. So what I'm wondering is, this silica probably is covering up heating elements and making the heating inefficient for the work it's doing. Isn't that right?
Probably, because you've got a lot, and it would also take up more room, so you'd have less water that's actually getting heated in there. So I'm not really sure about the maintenance of a water heater. That's a great question as far as how often they should be drained or can be drained. And I know most.
I've heard it should be a couple times a year. You can take a hose and drain it out, and if it's inside and outside, just let it run. But I'm one of those that I shut it off the rest of the time. I've taken more cold showers than I want to think about. But if I do want a hot shower, it only takes about a half an hour to heat it up. But the part I don't understand is why so many people have the temperature set so high, because you have to dilute it with cold in order to make it usable. But meanwhile, you're wasting all this energy trying to maintain a temperature that's hotter than scalding.
Yeah. A lot of wasted energy out there in the world today, and that's one of the common wastes of energy for sure.
Yeah, I want a tax break for being so thrifty. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks for your call.
All right. Joe, thank you so much for all you do for all of us. Help us understand our world and just knowing that there's somebody out there we can trust when we need a repair.
You're welcome.
You want to give your phone number again?
I would love to. You can reach me directly, 352-817-6574, or joe@damageflorida.com if you have any disaster needs.
Are we going to see the last day of the year?
You sure will.
Next week?
If you want to.
All right. Yeah, we want to. All right, we'll take a little break and we'll be right back.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
ABC News Now. I'm Karen Chase. It's later than you think. Holiday shoppers and travelers are on the move as the countdown to Christmas ticks down with just hours to go. Many retailers are offering deep discounts to squeeze the final dollars out of customers. In what looks like a scene from the movie Gravity, 2 astronauts are on the move outside the International Space Station, installing a refrigerator-sized cooling pump aboard the International Space Station and swapping out a broken one. Roads are still slick, and utility crews are still trying to get the power back on to many customers from the Midwest to the Northeast. More than 350,000 homes and businesses are still without electricity because of the weekend ice storm. Pope Francis is presiding over his first Christmas Eve Mass at the Vatican, where he'll also unveil a life-size nativity scene. A Montana judge who evoked outrage by telling a teen rape victim she looked older than her chronological age sentenced a man convicted of punching his girlfriend to writing the phrase, "Boys do not hit girls," 5,000 times, along with 6 months in jail. This is ABC News.
GastricBypassNoSurgery.com. GastricBypassNoSurgery.com. We are WOCA Labs, the sole inventor of the gastric bypass no surgery. The formula replaces the expensive and dangerous surgery by creating a natural gastric bypass effect. WOCA Labs is probably the strongest non-surgical weight loss solution in the world. WOCA Labs has over 100,000 success videos on YouTube. WOCA Labs, gastric bypass no surgery, creates an immediate gastric bypass effect with no surgery. Your obesity can end with GastricBypassNoSurgery.com. GastricBypassNoSurgery.com.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Life jackets save lives. Wear it, Florida. For today, Christmas Eve day, breezy and much cooler than recent days. It's clouded, a shower and spots give way to some sun. High 64 to 68. The night clear to partly cloudy and much cooler. Lows ranging from 42 inland to 56 on the beaches. Christmas Day, clouds and some sunshine. There may be some sprinkles at the beaches. Highs in the mid to upper 60s. Thursday, mostly cloudy with a couple of showers. Highs in the 60s to low 70s. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
When I started thinking about this year's Christmas greeting, I wanted to make it something meaningful. So here is my heartfelt wish for us all. Good health, prosperity, and the peace to be happy, whatever our circumstances. Remember the reason for the season. Merry Christmas.
I do. This heartwarming Broadway favorite takes a musical look at the marriage of Michael and Agnes and their life together over 50 years. They go through wedding night jitters, raise a family, negotiate midlife crises, quarrel, separate, reconcile, and grow old together. Ocala audiences are in for a unique experience as the original creators have reconceived the show to include a separate couple for each of the 6 episodes. I do. On stage at the Ocala Civic Theater, January 9th through the 19th. All right, it's 6 minutes after 11 o'clock. Nice looking, what is today, Tuesday? Christmas Eve, right?
Yeah.
And nice looking day. It's haven't been out there. It looks like it's not cold at all. Nobody's bundled up or anything, right?
Nope.
But we got cold temperatures moving in, right?
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm getting chilly just thinking about it.
So do you think, since we have kind of the exception to the rule, if you look at the map of the country, do you think that we have more people outdoor exercising than the rest of the country? I bet you we do. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, they're probably in the snowy parts of the country. They're probably jogging in the snow. And I mean, a real diehard jogger won't let anything stop him or her.
No.
Right?
No, not at all.
Lisa Lynn is on the phone. She's ready to talk to us about our bodies and our physical fitness. She is the personal trainer of Martha Stewart. She's a fitness and nutrition expert on the Dr. Oz show, and we're real honored to be able to say she's on our show a few times a year. And she's going to answer some of our questions about maybe those resolutions that make you say, I live in Florida. I could really be running all year long if I wanted to, or go out bicycling or something.
Yeah.
Lisa Lynn. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning. How are you?
Pretty good. Where are you? I always forget where you live.
I'm not in sunny Florida. I could give you that hit. I'm in New England where it's cold and
When you say New England, what's that? Connecticut, Vermont? Where are you?
Yeah, I was a little upset you didn't call me to come down there. To be honest, it's Connecticut. Daytona Beach.
Your flight probably would have been snowed in, and that would have been worse.
Oh, I'd leave a week early then if that's what it took. Anything to get into some bright sunny where you can walk outside.
So what do you do? What do you do as your daily routine? And you know who I saw yesterday on the Howard Stern radio show? I saw Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh.
And and the two of them are talking about how they're almost 60. I think Jerry's already 60 and Howard's going to be 60. I know. And I don't know how Howard looks, and the reason I don't is because he kind of hides himself behind that thing.
Oh.
But Jerry looks so good, and Howard says, "How come you look so good? Do you work out every day?" And Jerry was like, "Of course. Don't you?"
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
You know what? You
matter of
nailed it. It is a secret, especially with celebrities, and no matter how busy their schedule is, they put it first. And one of the things we're going to talk about, huge resolutions today, the tips that I'm going to give you is gigantic for anti-aging, but no one's really thinking about it.
Well, he doesn't look 60 at all. Jerry Seinfeld doesn't.
No.
So
my husband's 56, by the way, and he's 10 years older than me, but he does not look it.
And are you guys jogging? Do you use a treadmill?
No. The best secret I could give away is strength training, and not this CrossFit, murder yourself, train so hard you can't train every day type, but a smart weightlifting program is the secret. When you go to all the trade shows, they have quarters of marathon lifters, endurance, or strength lifters,
right,
endurance athletes, and the ones who age the best are the strength training athletes. One, because it puts muscle on and prevents the aging process, but also they train smart. They don't overtrain, they don't undertrain, and it's a lifestyle. It's not, I'm going to run my brains out and drink a bottle of wine every night and eat what I want.
So, so if you work, if a guy works in let's say a tire shop, and I mention this because if you watch the guys in the tire shops, they're constantly lifting tires, which seems like a lot of weight, if you're doing it all day long. Or if you're picking watermelons, I'm guessing there's another occupation that probably has a built-in.
Very good point.
Yeah, so
And you know what? So people are active all day like that, and you wonder, number one, stretching is usually mandatory for them, but even though they're lifting one way all day, and so strength training lifts the opposite way to correct the imbalance their job causes, helping to put off injury. Like in my world, we don't hear certain things like kidney stones, gall, the gout crowd. You just don't hear that because they live well. They eat lean protein. They eat a lot of vegetables. They go to bed early. It's a lifestyle. And I have to say, the weight training world is probably the best one at doing that.
Really? So what? How much do we need to get into this? Do we buy a large set of barbells? Do we go to?
How about one pair of dumbbells, period, and that's all you need? And here's my good news, Merry Fitness Healthy New Year tip. You don't really need to spend more than 20 or 30 minutes. Half the time in the gym is spent going back and forth to the water fountain, talking, not smart lifting. And a smart lifting program only takes 20 to 30 minutes, maybe 3 days a week.
So do you speak to the people you work with to find out what they do for a living, and then?
Of course. You should see my questionnaire. I had a doctor come to me. He's like, "Your forms are worse than mine." I ask every question except when they're having sex. Not interested in knowing.
but wouldn't sex sometimes include push-ups? Maybe
it is.
Exactly.
By the time I read the form, I can figure out whether they are or not.
I've always wondered about the outfit that women and guys wear when they're working out. To me, when I do walk, I like something loose-fitting, but then I see all these women and guys in spandex, and they're sweating and lunging and stuff. I mean, is that a good thing?
You don't have to train that hard, you know what I mean? And the serious people in the gyms are usually there in the morning. They get it over with early, and they don't care what they wear. It's not about a fashion show, but about getting it done. And I have to say, I used to be a big gym rat. Now I'm a home fitness proponent. If I had to rely on the gym to get in shape, I'd never go.
Oh, wow.
So give us an idea what you do. Do you exercise once every morning?
Every single day. Cardio is how I start my day, just because I check emails. I mildly do cardio at a nice moderate pace, not too fast. Some might say it's fast, but not too fast and not too slow, just right. Like for me, I'm short, that's about 3.5. And then I lift weights 3 days a week. Every muscle group on my body, if I see an imbalance occurring, I'll do a little more in one area and a little less in another.
So, I mean, do you run in the morning? Do you have a
No running. My running days are
So how do you
gone.
get the cardio going? What do you do?
Well, you can just put it up on a hill or sit on a spin bike. Believe it or not, sometimes biking jacks people's heart rates up better than a treadmill, so you cross-train. Like at my house, I have a spin bike, a recumbent bike, a treadmill. In fact, at all the I have a gym. I have a little summer house I go to. I have a setup. I just have a couple of dumbbells, and I have that everywhere I go. So in the event that the weather's not good, I can still get it done.
So is there a formula to know how much weight? Like, does it depend on how big you are? How much weight should
And you know what? This is where buying a session with a trainer is huge, a smart trainer, because the biggest mistake people make is they don't really know how strong or how weak they are, so they don't lift the right weight. And when we say do one set or two sets of 10 reps, that doesn't mean you're done at 10. That means that weight strained you, and at 9 you were like, can't do one more. Smart with good form. And honestly, I do this with people all day, and I make that mistake myself. So you don't have to live with a trainer, but a quarterly check-in, just like we do with our accountants, is a really brilliant way to stay healthy and you'll stay out of the orthopedics office, I can tell you that.
People are afraid sometimes that if they do weightlifting and they build up these muscles and stuff, that once they stop, all of that is going to turn into fat. Is that a myth?
Be afraid to stop. How about that? Okay. The truth is, you're never supposed to stop, because as we grow and age above 40, our body chews muscle for breakfast every day, and so we have to double work above 40 and make sure our protein needs are met so that we don't muscle waste. And if you look at the Seinfelds and the people who look fit versus the one who start to muscle waste, you can tell who's lifting weights and who isn't.
Oh, really? So did you do this? Have you done this all your life?
Oh, yeah. From about, I would say, 15 and up. And I don't come from an athletic family at all.
And you keep your weight in check. So I'm guessing it's not all exercise. It's got to be diet as well, right?
Oh, it's 80% diet. And one of the biggest tips I'm hoping to turn on America with the new year is you want to give up sugar. You have no clue how fast that stuff ages you. Women who are worried about their face, get rid of it.
Oh, now how does that happen?
Well, one of the things there's a recent study published in the Obesity Journal that's talking about people they're having 3 pounds of sugar a week, the average American.
I believe
I have a sweet tooth, so to be honest, mine probably is double, but I've already started my resolution. I was getting too anxious eating the candy, so I said, why wait? Why don't you start right now?
Well, you know how, just a real quick little story. I used to smoke cigars, and I haven't smoked cigars probably 6, 7, maybe even 8 years. I don't remember how long ago it's been. But the way I stopped was kind of accidental. It was between Christmas and New Year's that I got a cold. And back in those days, I didn't like to smoke when I had a cold. So I didn't smoke simply because I had a cold. Next thing I know, it's January 3rd, and the cold is starting to go away, and I look at the cigars, and I go, "What? You know what? I haven't smoked at all this year." And I kind of use
You're a smart guy. That took mindfulness to freeze.
That was a psychological thing I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you know how many people just automatically call themselves a smoker so they go back? It takes a lot of mindfulness to hit the pause button and say, is this good for me? And look, I did it. Like, I think one of the biggest things we could give people today is hope that you have to prove to yourself you can do it. I can guarantee you can do anything you want. You just have to show yourself 1 hour at a time. I did it. I did another hour. Don't beat yourself up when you fall.
So,
you're going to fall.
But applying that to the sugar advice,
Right.
if I were to say, okay, I'm no longer a smoker, that's easy because I'm never going to touch another thing with tobacco in it. But with sugar, how do I avoid that 100%?
Oh, yeah.
Well, and you know what? One, you got to get the candy out of the house. But the other thing that I've been using is there was a recent study published in the same obesity journal that says that if you consume white kidney bean extract, but in the form of Phase 2, which is a brand that works, it's a high-end, high number, the right amount, helps to push those cravings away. And I feel like for me, prevention's a powerful tool. I take the white kidney bean extract twice a day. Usually about the witching hour, like about 3 when my kids walk in with, look what I got at school. Oh, boy. I pop it right in the mouth. It keeps me feeling full. And that actually, let's just say I do fall in the hole the way that I did last night. It blocks 65% of the unwanted starch from being absorbed, the carbohydrates rather. And those are the foods we overeat on. So I now bought a new purse so that the bottle fits in my bag, and I'm going to write a little Christmas jingle tomorrow, maybe even sing it with a Scrooge hat about, the 8 days of Christmas my gave to me.
Lisa,
everybody should have this.
Lisa, the last couple of times you've been on, you mentioned the white bean, what's it called? White kidney bean extract. And I get calls after your appearance for a couple of days, usually after you've been on, just to ask me to repeat what it is. So I'm very familiar with the white kidney bean extract.
And you can go to GNC to get it. And like last night, I had to stop at the health food store to get vitamin D for the reasons I was complaining about earlier. I see why people are so confused and upset and bewildered because I know what I'm looking for. I cannot believe the labels are just so tricky. They look so healthy. But one of the tricks is that you've got to have a brand you know and can trust and the right amounts. And it shocked me to see, I had to look, first of all, there's like maybe only 5 vitamin D3s, but none of them had the right amount. You had to really run the numbers to make sure you nailed them. And what I love about phase 2 is you're getting 1,000 milligrams of phase 2 white kidney bean extract. That's the amount that gets results. So if you're not seeing results taking white kidney bean extract, you want to go back in and look for it.
And that's the hardest part for a person because you hear people going on those crash diets all the time. They get that band thing done so they can lose all the weight instantaneously, but they're not doing their body any good by doing that because your body's not trained to all of a sudden cope with this.
You're 100% right, and it's also all about replacements. Like studies prove when we're making New Year's resolutions, and I love this. I ask everybody for 2 weeks before, "What's your resolution?" I just want to lose weight. Oh, what are you going to do? Witchcraft? I mean, come on. You got to do the do.
Yeah, right.
Be tangible. I know my bad habits, and my number one is always sugar. Like, I ate all the candy canes off the tree the other day. I had a moment.
Oh, no.
Good thing my husband didn't let us buy 2 boxes, but it was fun, but I'm not buying it again. And, of course, I didn't take my white kidney bean extract, but I know that I have got to clean, and I've already done it, all the candy that, I have a 13-year-old. It just comes in the house. I had to get rid of it all. So bundle it and be exact about how. If you're a donut person, you're going to quit donuts to lose 10 pounds.
All right. Lisa, thank you for being on the air with us as you are. It's an honor to be able to say that you're a regular guest of ours. I love you guys. I went to your site, lynfit.com. It's 1N, Lyn. F as in Frank, S as in fit, I should say, lynfit.com. And there's a little article in there just for the people to know that shows you how to increase metabolism to lose weight. And can we also look up the white bean extract on here as well?
Absolutely, and I have some blogs on it. And anybody have any questions, or you really don't know what to do? Send me an email. I've been there. I live for helping people, and I'm bored if I can't. So send them over.
All right. So white bean extract, couple of weights, and some kind of.
And get rid of these energy drinks. By the way, like we talked about sugar, flip your labels around. Look where they belong. Where they are, and if you see sugar in something like a yogurt that's supposed to be good for you, if it's got sugar, get rid of it. Replace it with a better one.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea. Lisa, thank you for being on. Do you celebrate Christmas?
Of course I do. And you guys have a Merry Christmas yourselves.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Lisa.
Thanks. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. We'll take a little break, and we'll be right back.
Habitat for Humanity of Marion County is a ministry dedicated to improving lives by providing affordable and decent housing. Help them help others by visiting the Habitat for Humanity Ocala home store on Northwest 27th Avenue. To schedule a donation, give them a call, and they'll come and pick it up. For more information, visit habitatocala.org. Habitat for Humanity of Marion County, building homes, building hope, building community.
Look who just walked in the room. Joel Wiesner from What's Up Ocala. Hey, Joel, I'm looking for something to do this weekend. You got any ideas?
Absolutely. Check out our event calendar online at www.whatsupocala.com, and there is plenty of events there for you. Daily news updates to event reviews and magazine articles.
Really?
We've organized it all in one place online for you to cut through all of the hassle of finding something to do this weekend. We have a daily event calendar, a bi-monthly magazine, and we also do daily news articles.
All right, Joel, that's perfect. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Whatsupocala.com.
Stay informed on everything going on in the villages with the Village Spectator newspaper. The Village Spectator is exclusively devoted to the villages with news, commentary, and more. And yes, they have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask is that you tell them where you heard about them. Call Tom's Picks at 804-1223 and pick up your copy of the Village Spectator today.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
Giving cheers to all of our agricultural products. That story coming up on This Land of Ours.
Hi, everybody. This is Marty Stewart, and I'm excited to welcome the cattle industry to Nashville, Tennessee. Join me in Music City for the sights, sounds, and excitement of the 2014 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show. It's a great chance for networking, education, and fun, and it's your chance to see an exclusive event at one of my favorite venues, the Grand Ole Opry. Now join me for a ticket to ride at the 2014 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show. It'll be February 4th through the 7th in Music City, USA. Now, for more information, please visit the National Cattlemen's Beef Association website at beefusa.org. And there you can check out all the cool stuff that'll be happening at this year's convention. That's February the 4th through the 7th right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Hey, and while you're at it, don't forget to check out the Marty Stewart Show Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on RFD TV and FamilyNet. Hope to see you in Nashville this year. You're gonna love it.
Well, our farmers supply us with food, fiber, energy, and beverage. That's right, many of our favorite drinks are derived directly from agriculture, from the obvious ones like orange juice to the ones that we may not automatically think of, such as beer.
People don't always think about beer as an agricultural product, but it certainly is, given the fact that the hops are a very important agricultural crop, and obviously the barley and any other ingredients like pumpkins and rye and other ingredients.
That's beer maker and farmer Brett Joyce, who says just like other farmers, they must grow and tend their crop. And adds that this holiday season, we can give thanks to all of our farmers by raising a glass.
It's certainly a time to appreciate the hard work that goes into that and the bounty, and enjoy that in a glass of beer.
Responsibly, of course. Julie McPeak with Southeast AgNet.
Legally Yours, brought to you by Fuller & Fuller Attorneys at Law. On the air every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. with John Fuller, a board-certified civil trial lawyer for over 25 years. John welcomes your questions, from business to complex family matters to legal disputes. So tune in every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. for Legally Yours with John Fuller, right here on WOCA 1370 AM and 96.3 FM, The Source.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing. Our tractor services include bush hog, disking, front end loader, box blade, and stump grinding. We also have zero-turn mowers for the smaller paddocks, aisleways, fence rows, and lawn care. Fence row spraying is also available for weed control. We are licensed and insured. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440, or online at powellgene, Gene, at yahoo.com. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing.
Hi, this is Joe and Patsy Martone.
Wishing you a Merry Christmas
and a Happy New Year.
From
WOCA, The Source.
On Florida Livestock News on the Southeast AgNet. Well, back during Thanksgiving, most households serve turkey, as that is, of course, the tradition. But during the Christmas holiday season, the Florida Beef Council hopes beef is a part of your tradition.
When it comes to Christmas time and celebrating the holidays with your family, there's no better way to do that than with beef.
Ashley Hughes said there are various cuts you can prepare in lots of ways that make fantastic meal choices for the holidays.
If you're looking for holiday roast ideas, appetizer ideas, soups, stews, any kind of winter recipe idea, whether you're having a prime rib roast or serving a great tenderloin, we have all sorts of ideas. Definitely go to beefitswhatsfordinner.com for some of the latest and greatest recipes. These are all triple tested and absolutely fantastic.
And Ashley said there are even more ways to find great ideas of how to prepare delicious beef meals throughout the holiday season.
If you want some from the Florida Beef Council, make sure to check out our social media on Facebook and Pinterest. We have all sorts of different recipe ideas. and we would love to make sure that your family has an absolutely enjoyable beef meal for Christmas this year.
Those websites again are beefitswhatsfordinner.com, or you can go to the Florida Beef Council website at floridabeefcouncil.org. And they want consumers to know there are many great options beef can provide for any of your holiday occasions.
Hi, everybody. This is Marty Stewart inviting you to follow me to Nashville, Tennessee for the 2014 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show. It'll be February the 4th through the 7th in Music City, USA. For more information, please visit the National Cattlemen's Beef Association website at beefusa.org. There you can check out all the cool stuff that'll be happening at this year's convention. Now, while you're at it, don't forget to check out the Marty Stewart Show, Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on RFD TV and FamilyNet.
Randall Wiseman, Southeast AgNet.
Howdy, RL here to tell you about a great deal at Dairy Queen. For only $4.49, you can warm up to a hot, juicy combo of either a foot-long, quarter-pound, all-beef chili dog or a tasty, home-style cheeseburger. Smoking hot off the char grill. Both get fries and a drink. You can add a sundae for only 99 cents. Now that's a doggone good deal at Dairy Queen, Silver Springs, where they always treat you like kings and queens.
Happy holidays from Life South Community Blood Centers. This is Galen Unold wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Have a safe holiday, and please give blood.
Hi, this is Robin. May God's happiness, love, and joy be with you and yours this holiday season. Merry Christmas.
Here are today's headlines from the source, WOCA. The Florida Highway Patrol is reporting that a 25-year-old man died yesterday morning when the motorcycle he was driving crashed into a van on Maricamp Road. The report identifies the man as Ruddy Hazel Santiago of Tampa. According to the report, Santiago was traveling west on County Road 464 in the right-hand lane. A 2004 Kia van driven by 66-year-old Patricia Ann Clemenson of Ocala exited Emerald Road and was heading north, trying to cross County Road 464 in front of the motorcycle. The motorcycle struck the passenger side of the van. The impact ejected Santiago from his 2012 Honda CBR sport bike. Santiago was taken to Ocala Regional Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead. Clemenson was taken to Ocala Regional Medical Center with minor injuries, according to the report. The accident is under investigation. Officials said Santiago was driving to his parents' home for the holidays. Federal regulators extended the deadline for consumers to enroll in health insurance until midnight tonight. Department of Health and Human Services spokeswoman Julie Patel said, anticipating high demand and the fact that consumers may be enrolling from multiple time zones, the health department has taken steps to make sure that those who select a plan through December 24th will get coverage for January 1st. HHS programmed its systems to support January 1st coverage for those who attempt to complete their enrollment through the end of the day today in anticipation of heavy online traffic or other technical issues. Insurers said they did not receive official word of the change, although HHS said the move was made in consultation with the industry so consumers could be well served, calling it a concept similar to Election Day, when those in line when the polls close still get to vote. Healthcare.gov had record-breaking traffic this weekend, according to HHS, with more than 1 million visits to the site and 200,000 calls to the call center. A record high of nearly 1 million background checks have been done this year on people interested in buying firearms, according to state data. The background checks are a required part of the purchase process. By mid-December, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement had run 823,653 background checks, surpassing the 797,610 total checks conducted in 2012. The agency also ran an all-time high of about 13,500 checks during Thanksgiving weekend, which is the Thursday of Thanksgiving through the Sunday of that weekend, about 200 more than the same period last year. Samantha Andrews, spokeswoman for the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, said the state does not have sales data. She added that more than 96% of the transactions result in approval while the caller was still on the phone. Owners of gun stores in Florida say they noticed a surge in firearm sales during the first few months of the year. And this year's Surfing Santas event on Cocoa Beach featured the jolly old elf and his cohorts not only dropping in on the waves, but also out of the sky. There were more than 200 Santa Clauses, snowmen, elves, and even a Grinch or two riding paddleboards, boogie boards, longboards, and any other wave-riding equipment available at what's fast becoming one of the Space Coast's most notable holiday celebrations. Joining the fun were 15 professional skydiving Santas who jumped from the 65-year-old C-47 Warbird called the Tico Bell. The event, officially called Surfin' Santa's 2013 Christmas in the Sand, benefits the nonprofit organization Grind for Life. The charity, founded by Mike Rogers, a sarcoma cancer survivor, provides financial assistance to area cancer patients and their families for transportation to treatment facilities. Last year, the organization raised $2,900, which assisted 11 cancer patients. And those are the headlines from The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Life jackets save lives. Wear it, Florida. For today, Christmas Eve day, breezy and much cooler than recent days. It's clouded, a shower and spots give way to some sun. High 64 to 68. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy and much cooler. Lows ranging from 42 inland to 56 on the beaches. Christmas Day, clouds and some sunshine. There may be some sprinkles at the beaches, highs in the mid to upper 60s. Thursday, mostly cloudy with a couple of showers, highs in the 60s to low 70s. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Merry Christmas, Joyeux Noel, in any language. May God bless you and yours with an abundance of blessings this Christmas season and in the brand new year. Merry Christmas.
Looks like we have a technical glitch right here. We'll be right back. You're listening to The Source, WOCA. We'll be right back with regular programming in just a moment after we get the computer to begin doing what it's supposed to do. It just wanted to take an early Christmas break is what I think. And we'll be right back in just a bit.
Well, we're just getting ready for everything. Everything's exciting going on around here at the Paddock Mall. It will be open till 6 p.m. this evening. A lot of families have been walking by the windows. Santa Claus is still here. There have been a lot of children in beautiful clothing just to get their pictures with Santa, and everybody's got a lot of smiles on their faces, so we're looking forward to the holiday.
Habitat for Humanity of Marion County is a ministry dedicated to improving lives by providing affordable and decent housing. Help them help others by visiting the Habitat for Humanity Ocala home store on Northwest 27th Avenue. To schedule a donation, give them a call and they'll come and pick it up. For more information, visit habitatocala.org. Habitat for Humanity of Marion County, building homes, building hope, building community.
Look who just walked in the room. Joel Wiesner from What's Up Ocala. Hey, Joel, I'm looking for something to do this weekend. You got any ideas?
Absolutely. Check out our event calendar online at www.whatsupocala.com, and there is plenty of events there for you. Daily news updates to event reviews and magazine articles.
Really?
We've organized it all in one place online for you to cut through all of the hassle of finding something to do this weekend. We have a daily event calendar, a bi-monthly magazine, and we also do daily news articles.
All right, Joel, that's perfect. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Whatsupocala.com.
Don't ever miss a single edition of the Mike Huckabee Show. We're going to have a whole lot of fun talking the big issues of the day. We'll talk to the newsmakers and the issues that made them a newsmaker, as well as we'll bring you some entertainment, some fun. You never know what's going to happen on the Mike Huckabee Show. Don't miss it.
Join Mike Huckabee every weekday from noon to 3 exclusively on WOCA The Source.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Life jackets save lives. Wear it, Florida. For today, Christmas Eve day, breezy and much cooler than recent days. It's cloudy to shower and spots give way to some sun. High 64 to 68. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy and much cooler. Lows ranging from 42 inland to 56 on the beaches. Christmas Day, clouds and some sunshine. There may be some sprinkles at the beaches. Highs in the mid to upper 60s. Thursday, mostly cloudy with a couple of showers. Highs in the 60s to low 70s. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hi, this is Joe, and I'm your host for the new show, Damage Control, every Tuesday morning at 10:30 a.m., brought to you by Damage Control Services. We're going to be discussing floods, fires, storm and tree damage, sinkholes, mold, and many other disasters that you need to know about, how to prevent and prepare for them, as well as what to do when it happens and what to expect after it happens. This is Damage Control, Tuesdays at 10:30, right here on The Source.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram, CEO of Gateway Bank, inviting you to drop by our main office on Silver Springs Boulevard every Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. for the Community Gazette, a 3-hour show focusing on our favorite community to live and work, Ocala, Marion County. Come join us with the voice of Ocala, Buddy Martin, in the new old-fashioned bank radio studio as we discuss a variety of interesting topics on the Community Gazette on WOCA, The Source.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offered at an included dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Phoenix Promotional Solutions, your company supplier of banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Where you give them approved artwork by noon, the next day by 4 p.m., you pick up your banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404. That's 368-2404. Don't forget, they do vehicle wraps also. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404.
Today in Florida Ag News from the Southeast AgNet, will farmers planning to purchase propane-fueled farm equipment in 2014 will again be eligible for up to $5,000 in purchase incentives thanks to the renewal of the Propane Farm Incentive Program. The program saw record results in 2013, with PERC distributing more than $627,000 in purchase incentives to a total of 219 farmers across the United States. Mark Lightman, Director of Business Development and Marketing at PERC, says for our area, a good portion of those funds went towards irrigation engines.
So powering center pivots or other types of irrigation, you can hook up, lots of sizes are available on propane today. So anywhere you're pumping water where you might be using a diesel engine, maybe even powering with an electric generator, consider propane. It'll allow you to diversify your energy sources that you use on the farm, save a little money in the process, and clean the environment a little bit.
For more information about the Propane Farm Incentive Program, visit agpropane.com.
Hi there, I'm John Conley. Follow me to Tennessee and the Music City for the 2014 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show. It's a great chance to network with your fellow cattlemen and have a whole lot of fun. And it's your chance to see me play live during Cowboys Night at the Opry at one of my favorite venues, the Grand Ole Opry. Join me and 7,000 of your fellow cattlemen at the 2014 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show. Get all the details at beefusa.org.
Hi, everybody. This is Marty Stewart inviting you to follow me to Nashville, Tennessee for the 2014 Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show. It'll be February the 4th through the 7th in Music City, USA. For more information, please visit the National Cattlemen's Beef Association website at beefusa.org. There you can check out all the cool stuff that'll be happening at this year's convention. Now, while you're at it, don't forget to check out the Marty Stewart Show, Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on RFD TV and FamilyNet.
Julie McPeak with Southeast AgNet.
You're listening to WOCA News Talk 1370, Ocala's source for what's happening in today's hottest, up-to-date news and topics.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Life jackets save lives. Wear it, Florida. For today, Christmas Eve day, breezy and much cooler than recent days. It's cloudy to shower and spots give way to some sun. High 64 to 68. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy and much cooler. Lows ranging from 42 inland to 56 on the beaches. Christmas Day, clouds and some sunshine. There may be some sprinkles at the beaches, highs in the mid to upper 60s. Thursday, mostly cloudy with a couple of